Hi guys, I'm Brittany. I'm with Koda, Kentucky Organ Donor Affiliates. I'm going to talk to you guys today about organ, tissue, and cornea donation. But first, I'd like to start out with a really cool video.
Do you have the right guy? Like, are you sure it's Matt?
From a little boy, he was always he had a huge heart.
There was no alternative for me except a transplant.
The heart that I grew up with and felt in all of my hugs when I hugged him, that it's still out there somewhere. And I'm just excited to feel it beat again.
Hi. You must be Casey.
Cheryl. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
One more, Jared. Hey, oh man. I woke up this morning and told
So nice to meet you.
Matt that Mom and Dad's coming today.
That's awesome.
So let's talk a little bit about Koda. Who is Koda and why you guys have to work with us? Koda is Kentucky Organ Donor Affiliates. We were established in 1987. We are a CMS certified organ procurement organization. So you guys work with us for organ donation, tissue donation, and for cornea donation. Koda is a small organization. We are an independent nonprofit. We only have about 80 employees that work at Koda, so we stay extremely busy. That's why it's so important that we have great relationships with our hospital partners, with our physicians, and our nurses, because you guys are the beginning of the entire donation process. When you pick up that phone to give us a referral, you never know whose life you could be saving or enhancing. So we really depend on our hospital partners. We have to have great relationships with our physicians, with our nurses, because you are the beginning of the entire donation process. I'd like to talk to you a little about Koda's purpose and mission. Koda's purpose is to honor the gift of donation through our mission, and our mission is to provide organs and tissues to those in need and to maintain a profound respect for those who gave. At the very center of Koda, where our heart lies, are our wonderful donor families and donors who say yes to donation at one of the most horrific times of their life, when they lose a loved one. Did you know there are over 1,000 people just in our state waiting to receive that life-saving organ? And there are 22 people that die every single day because they did not get their life-saving organ in time. So did you know that every state has an organ donor registry? Let's talk a little about the registry. The registry is first-person consent. It is a legally binding document. It carries the same weight as a living will or an advance directive. Every single time a patient is on the registry, it is the responsibility of Koda or the hospital to do everything they can to honor that patient's final wishes. When a patient is on the registry and they're eligible to donate, Koda will speak to the patient's legal next of kin, explain to them that their loved one made a beautiful decision by signing up on the registry, and we're here to help them facilitate that process. If a patient is not on the registry, yet eligible to donate, we will ask for your help in getting to the legal next of kin to talk to them about donation. Everyone can register to be a donor, and it's as simple as saying yes when you have your driver's license renewed. That's how 98% of the people on the registry decide to register. You can always go to our website, which is donatelifeky.org, or you can contact a Koda representative for more information. I do caution you though, pulling out your patient's driver's license to see if the registry symbol is on there is not the official way to check the registry. When you make a referral to Koda, we are checking the Kentucky registry, the Indiana registry, the national registry, and if we know that that patient is from another state, we will also call that state's version of Koda to check the registry status. So let's talk about death and the types of donors that come from cardiac standstill death and brain death. Everyone understands cardiac standstill death. The patient is too sick or injured, they arrest, they die, and that is where we can get our tissue and cornea donors from. On the other side of things, where we get our organ donors is from those patients who progress to brain death, are legally declared brain dead, and then can potentially donate organs. Brain death is when respiration and circulation are artificially maintained and there is total and irreversible cessation of all brain function, including the brain stem. Brain death is legal and final death. There is no coming out of brain death. The patient is not just in a coma. There's no medication, time, procedure, rehab that will reverse that. Brain death is legal and final death. The time that a patient is declared brain dead is the time that you will document on a provisional, and it is also the time that you will document in your death paperwork. Now let's talk about some potential causes of brain deaths. Certainly those traumas, that gives us about 50% of our organ donors. Those patients who fall and hit their head, those patients who are in MVAs or motorcycle accidents. Another situation that could lead to potential organ donation are those patients that you see that have some type of an aneurysm or a hemorrhage. Also, patients that could potentially be organ donors are those patients who have some type of an anoxic injury for maybe prolonged hypoxia, maybe status post-cardiac arrest, those patients who were near drownings, hangings, and overdoses. About 30% of our organ donors at Koda come from overdose patients. A lot of people don't make that connection of your patient comes in as an overdose. They have a severe anoxic injury that could potentially lead to brain death and then lead to organ donation. So please make sure to make that connection and give us the call on all of those patients because you never know who can and who cannot be an organ donor. So let's talk about how to make an organ referral. For those of you that are in critical care areas such as ICU, CCU, open heart, or ER, these are your clinical triggers to follow to refer those potential organ donors. If you have a patient that has some type of a severe neurological insult that requires ventilatory support, that has a GCS of 5 or an absence of 3 or more brainstem reflexes, please refer that patient to us within 1 hour. Please remember to give us a call on any withdrawal of treatment that the family requests. That includes terminal extubation. That includes if you're going to withdraw any pressor support or any fluids. Give us a call first to let us know that the family is headed down the road of withdrawal of treatment. That way we can direct you either to go ahead, rule the patient out, they cannot be an organ donor, or they can potentially be an organ donor, and Koda needs to come on site to do further evaluation and start interacting and approaching the family. Another very important piece of that is please do not mention Koda or donation to families. It is a CMS and Joint Commission requirement that everyone who talks to families about donation must be trained on an annual basis. Koda has family support liaisons that are specialized in supporting the family and doing a tremendous amount of brain death teaching and approaching families at the appropriate time to have the donation conversations. The life-saving organs that can potentially be donated are the heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, pancreas, and the small intestines. By making that referral to us, you could potentially help save 7 or 8 lives. For those of you who will not be working with critical care patients or patients on the ventilator, this is your clinical trigger. Anytime you have a patient that dies in your hospital, please refer that cardiac standstill death to Koda within 1 hour. We need to screen for tissue and cornea donation and see if they're suitable. If they are suitable, then we will ask your help in getting the legal next of kin to the phone to a private, quiet area so we can approach them about the opportunity of donation. For those of you who have hospital-based trained designated requesters, please contact your chaplains to start interacting with the family and make those approaches. The tissues that could potentially be donated are the corneas, skin, tendons and ligaments, long bone in the leg, heart valves, and saphenous veins. Please remember to refer all deaths to Koda within 1 hour after that patient's death so we can screen for all tissue and cornea donation and approach the family while they are still at the hospital. So your role in the donation process is to understand the Koda process and help educate your peers, to recognize the clinical triggers for both organ and tissue donation, and to make the timely referral. Please do not talk to families about donation. Koda should be the only ones doing that, as we are trained, and that is specific to timing. You should also make sure that you are providing good critical care to your patient to give them the best chance of survival while preserving donation opportunities to be able to hopefully help others. Thanks for allowing me to come in and talk to you guys today. If you have any further questions or comments, please be sure to talk to your unit manager or your educator.